They'll be calling you a radical. Back to the Fukushima catastrophe nightmare that all you air suckers don't seem to give a fuck about, and you just think that it's going away in your freaking sickening cycle. I want everybody to know this. Number one, they are getting worse, much, much worse, but they've been getting worse all the time, and we're seeing print media come out and say, oh no, it's back into the contemporary. But what the fuck is the matter with you people? I mean, really, I'll tell you this. This is the greatest catastrophe in human history. And everybody says, oh, why? Because it's not mass murdering. It is mass murdering, but it's going to mass murder for decades. It's getting worse. It is China syndrome is happening for the first time in the history of humanity. Not in 1, not in 2, not in 3, in 4. Nobody, you think about this. You think about this. This has been going on for 854 days. 854. Do you see the United States over there? Do you see the UN over there? Do you see anybody over there? The UN is the nuclear industry. The WHO's World Health Organization is the nuclear industry. This is the biggest scam cover-up ever perpetrated in the history of humanity, bigger than any Wall Street scam. As I was on Wall Street for years, and I ran it and raved and carried on. I was an arbitrage derivative specialist on Wall Street through the 90s. I was the #1 trader on including the entire fucking platform. The #1. Did I get paid the most? Hell no, because this country isn't about performance, just like this vlog. When time and space looks back, when they look back, and you people could say all you want. You could do anything. I don't care. Any single one of you. You can say all you want, you air suckers. When this looks back on future generations, they're going to say, what the fuck? Why did not anybody? And they're going to look back because we have YouTube, this powerful, incredible genre. And my videos have been backed up all over. I know for a fact that my view count in freaking Asia is 10 times my view count here. My uncle was over there and he says some people asked him his freaking name and he says 200 people stood up and freaking cheered because they mirror image these videos and they play them all over. They're blocking anything coming out of Japan. Anything, it's tough to get stuff even out of Hong Kong now. This is the power of this evil monster. And as time and space looks back, they're going to say, are you kidding me? This guy was doing this on a shoestring with a freaking $200 YouTube freaking camera. He did day one, he said this was full core meltdowns. Every day, he says they're dumping into the Pacific. He said he's going crazy, and nobody freaking listens. He's been telling people, hey, one of you guys stand up with some money and help a guy out. But you know what? I've come to the point, I don't want none of your fucking help. I don't want nobody's fucking help, not one single fucking person. Not once it, because time and space is going to look back. Are you kidding me? A guy that was given less than 1% chance, who got leukemia 6 months later, presented tumors in his lung, he diagnosed himself. He freaking got chemo down to 119 pounds. As the secretary at the bone marrow transplant, the acute bone marrow transplant, she says to me, Kevin, you're the biggest miracle I ever see walk out of here. I've never seen anything like it. What you've done in this fight, she says, it's epic. She says, I'm going to write a book one day. And she says, it's unbelievable story. That I was talking to a woman yesterday. She says, you mean to tell me, as accurate as you've been the only one. You stood alone, and people say, oh, I did, oh, really? Show me. Yeah, there was plenty of people in print meeting. There's plenty of YouTube vloggers of our small army that have gone along. We get no credit, Bill. We get nothing. You mean to tell me not one person has stepped up and says, hey, Kev, you know, how much freaking money do you need? How much, you know? Here's 20 grand, go. Here's 50 grand, go. Here's 5 grand, go. No, fuck no. Nobody with not a fucking dime, not a fucking penny. Now, I had a donation page my daughter set up, and there was a lot of beautiful people that sent 50s and 20s. And we raised a few $1,000s to keep me alive when I was in a critical condition, and I love all you guys. I mean, but I don't want $5 and $10. I don't want to be the fucking Arnie Gunderson. And I'll tell all you people in San Diego this. When we got songs shut down, and I'm on the inside of, I know Alice McFarland personally. As her and I used to debate all the time, I was saying, put it in Yucca Mountain, put it in Yucca Mountain. She's shooting into space. And she's a geologist. I have a whistleblower from inside the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Her and I are friends. We talk all the time. I have whistleblowers from inside songs. Not only did Arnie Gunderson not help us, he almost blew the entire... Remember, Arnie Gundershield worked for the nuclear industry. Call them up. Get on the phone and call Fairwinds. First thing they're saying, give me a check. You know, I always say, when's he going to switch sides again for the 4th time? As soon as they give a bigger check. When you hold a press conference in San Diego, it's the day before. I knew it was going to shut down the day before. As I get that, we're ready to hit the beach. Barbara Boxer's office themselves called me. Went through a subset of a 200 freak thing. I've been all over her office for years and years and years. This isn't no new, I contemporize. I was fighting it from my hospital room. I have the videos to prove it. When you put up a press conference and you put Arnie Gunderson on the point, do you know what you do to yourself as an activist? When you say, oh, thank you to the Sierra Club? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know how many millions and millions of dollars the Sierra Club and these so-called freaking environmental groups have sucked up and done nothing? No, they haven't done nothing. They've went backwards. Our cause, the nuclear cause, you think for 1982 has went extremely backwards. Fukushima is the greatest story in the history of humanity. Nothing's been done. It is the greatest cover-up, and this will destroy the Obama legacy. Will absolutely destroy it because RadNet did not work. Gina McCarthy was head of RadNet. We spent billions. That's the radio. It was the biggest cover-up. Plumegate is very, very real. Now she's head of the EPA. Ernest, he's all in nuclear. Barack Obama is nuclear. He's promoted. And he is the Uncle Tom president of all time. Is the Uncle Tom Obama, the Uncle Tom media, the Uncle Tom Marine, and every one of you marine biologists across California, any one of you who's a marine biologist, when you're old and you're sitting there, and so many people have died from cancer, your grandson, your granddaughter comes to you and says there was this giant fucking hole in the road, this giant fucking gaping hole in the road, and you just sit and watch people drive into the fucking hole. You didn't walk out there and put a sign up, stop, there's a hole. You didn't wave your arm, says stop, there's a fucking hole. You says, oh, I'm just gonna go. I've sit with so many people as they're dying and passing from fucking cancer. It's my very close friend who went in with me, Tracy. He's been fighting this for 2 years. They sent him home to die. He's gonna pass to the air tomorrow. This is like the 10th one of our little freaking army in there. It's really down to me. I mean, I'm the only one freaking left. Because I've been fighting this on a shoestring, and history's going to look back. It's like Celeste said. She says, Kevin, history's going to look back and say, are you fucking kidding me? This baby boomer, echo boomer, air-sucking society is this pathetic. This pathetic. And everything that this is the one time I've been so accurate on this vlog, and I hope the whole time that I was wrong. But I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew I had logic that they were poisoning the Pacific Ocean, and they've been poisoning the Pacific Ocean. This is China syndrome going on in 4 reactors. What's going to happen? I guess we're going to find out. But we know one thing, that it's mass murdering now. The nuclear plume rained over Oregon, Washington, you hypocrites up there. You just sit there and do nothing. And you sit there when your loved one gets cancer. Oh, it's God's will. I'm going to heaven. No, you're not. You're going to hell. Straight to fucking hell. And all you people that participated, the freaking you people who have been the whores for the media, you freaking, and to be, as I say, cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate, intelligent arguments get results. You whores that say nothing. Use the Sanjay Gupta, who took the Hippocratic oath, is a criminal. So many of these people are criminals. You media who report nothing, you are criminals. You're going to rot in the lowest form of freaking hell. And when your loved one, I hear all the time, if it's God's will, I always go back, oh, whose Harriet Beecher Stowe? Well, we don't understand this all the time. Oh, what about Eastham Hidden and John Sanders? Because you're illiterate, because you're a bunch of air suckers. The baby boomer echo boomer is nothing but an air sucker. You think you were born onto this earth to do nothing but freaking consume. I'll watch freaking TV, suck up freaking air, eat whatever freaking animal I can mass murder, freaking just poison the environment. That's what I'm supposed to, because it's generational arrogance. By definition, what is religion? Generational arrogance. You're not going to freaking heaven. You're going to hell. Straight to hell. I'll say it like this. At the end of East of Eden, when Adam's blaming himself, 1916 zombie in your head. He says, Tim Shell, that's out of the Old Testament. That's out of the Old Testament. Thou mayest. What does that mean? That means that men have choices. To say that this is God's will is to say that men are not responsible for their actions. Men are responsible for actions. And every one of you fucking air suckers who did nothing. And I don't want no help from fucking no one. I don't want one fucking dime from fucking nobody. And I want time and space and history of my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to look fucking back and say, are you kidding me? This guy stood all a fucking alone. You know how much money it cost me to get into the fucking hospital? Every dime I fucking had. I had to diagnose my fucking self. I had a fucking central line hanging out of my fucking jugular vein when I'm doing these fucking videos. In critical condition, against doctor's fucking order. Shriveled up to nothing. I went without food and water for fucking I don't know how long. Given no chance to survive. In an acute bone marrow transplant fucking center. Quarantined. I've been walking around fucking still now. My platelets are 110. I was doing videos walking around hiking mountains with platelet counts of 35 against doctor's fucking order. But I want place and time and history to look back and say, you mean to tell me this guy did this with no fucking help from fucking no one? On a shoestring with no fucking money, in critical fucking condition, and he told this fucking tale in fucking exact fucking detail. This is an epic, epic, unfolding fucking tragedy. This is the greatest romantic tragedy of all fucking time. As I would say over and over, I've been living the country and western version of Hamlet. Oh, cursed spite, was I ever born to set this right? When they nuked my dad to death in the Nevada test site, I turned myself into the greatest expert on fucking nuclear fallout in this fucking country. In this world, I will go toe-to-toe with anyone on fucking earth. I was autistic, had an IQ of 170 in the fucking when I was tested fucking young. I couldn't communicate, I couldn't do anything. I've been pushed to the fucking margins because of fucking autism. Autism's a broad scale that works on the other spectrum of the fucking brain. And I can go into the fucking spectrum. It's just like you fucks in Utah sit here. Oh, we're 1 in 32 in fucking the autism capital of the world, the cancer capital of the world, because genetics, Einstein said it. 2 generations removed will pay. It mutates the fucking gene. Your parents' gene was mutated. Your fucking grandparents' gene was mutated. Plutonium's half-life is 24,500 years. We all knew what downwinders were. You forgot. Plutonium didn't fucking forget. I'll go to toe-to-toe, and when time and space and history looks back at this catastrophe and hell, and fucking nobody did nothing. We rely on fucking TEPCO. The biggest lies. It's been pouring to the Pacific for 854 days, the entire time. And the Marine Biologist Department, you whores that did not fucking report this. And you media fucking whores. Fuck every last fucking one of them. May you rot in the lowest fucking form of hell. Stay untuned.